Welcome. Today I want to talk about one of my favorite weapons, which is the Sloshing Machine. It's a very interesting Slayer weapon. It has significant upsides and significant downsides. The main upside is that compared to regular Slosher, it has a huge hitbox. Aside maybe Blaster, it's probably the biggest hitbox in the game. The thing is, it does less damage than Machine, unless you hit the sweet spot, which is like right in the center. You have a slower kill time because it does less damage. You have to kill in 3 shots, which is not really fast, especially since it has a pretty slow fire rate. But the size is really an advantage. It's easier to hit enemies. It's good for combo with other weapons for kill, and you can still do like quicker kills with the sweet spot. This weapon has a lot of mobility, especially strafing speed. Like the speed that you move when you're shooting is pretty fast and is significantly faster compared to regular Slosher. The weapon paints decently per shot, but it does have a high ink consumption, which means that in the long run it's not the best to keep a zone colored by your color. Now, being a Slosher means that walls and ledges are your best friend because you can hit your enemies from very weird angles, which most weapons can't. And while this is not the most difficult weapons to use, it definitely rewards skillful players. Both players that know how to use the kit really well and how to use synergy with the main weapons. And, the weapon really rewards like people that are able to consistently hit the sweet spot. So in Splatoon 1, there's not much to say really. Was okay. Vanilla kit had Splat Bomb, Splat Bomb is good on any weapon really. And Bomb Rush, which wasn't really that good. Neo Machine had point sensor, which is really nice. Locating enemies is really nice for sloshers because it makes you more easily hit enemies behind corner. And the special was Ink Zuka, which, wasn't amazing. Wasn't really anything special. There's just not much to say. It was a decent weapon, but it just did not fit the hyper-aggressive game that was Splatoon 1. Then there's Splatoon 2, and here's there's definitely a lot more to say. They had more interesting kits. Vanilla had Auto Bomb, which, it's nice. It fits in the, if you really want to hit enemies behind corners, and, had some location effect, which is not as good at point sensor maybe, but it's still nice. And Stingray was basically the best special in the game before it got nerfed. And thanks to Stingray, it's so competitive play, relevant, so meta relevance, again, until Stingray was nerfed. Neo Machine was nothing amazing. Point sensor again, which is nice, and then Bomb Rush, which Bomb Rush is not that good. And then there's the most important one, it was Kensa Machine. That was special in the game. Because, Splashdown, if you were like a mid-ladder, like low-ladder player, you probably could use it efficiently. But like a top-level play, before you got the huge rework in Splatoon 3, Splashdown in Splatoon 2 was too easy to deal with for good players. However, the huge thing about Kensa is the sub-weapon, Fizzy Bomb. Let me tell you, Fizzy Bomb is amazing. Even in Splatoon 3 is like the best sub-weapon in the game. However, it synergizes especially with the Sloshing Machine. As I said before, Sloshing Machine is really good for like comboing with other weapons for kills. And Fizzy Bomb is perfect for that. You can either do one hit from Fizzy Bomb and one direct hit from the main weapon. You can hit twice with the main weapon, once with the Fizzy Bomb. You can hit twice with the Fizzy Bomb, and then any shot from the main weapon will splat the enemy. So like overall, it's very dangerous. It gives you a lot more options to approach enemies. It's also like a good defensive option because you can just, if an enemy approaches you, you can throw that to the ground. If I get hit twice or even just once, you're really threatening a kill. It also aims some AoE, so like Fizzy Bomb plus main weapon. Oh yeah, another thing that I didn't say about the main weapon before is that thanks to the big hitbox, it's very good for AoE damage. And Fizzy Bomb plus Sloshing Machine, just like the main weapon just does a lot of AoE damage. And, Fizzy Bomb also paints a lot, which is really appreciated for a weapon that, as you said before, is not very efficient at painting. So yeah, Kensa Machine, despite the horrible special, was really good. It was a good anti-meta weapon. It was really good in maps that had a lot of walls, or like had a lot of different level heights, that a Slosher couldn't really make use of. All this talk about Fizzy Bomb is especially relevant in Splatoon 3. And here's the peak of Machine. At launch, Machine was the single best weapon in Splatoon 3. Because, I mean, Vanilla Machine had again Fizzy Bomb, just like Cancer Machine. But this time around, it got a special where it didn't suck. And not just that, like, it was a great special. Booyah Bomb. Booyah Bomb is great. Consistently has been top 5 special throughout the entire game. It's not like, it's never been number 1, but it's always been a very good special. It synergizes with Machine, since, I mean, Machine plus Fizzy Bomb are really good at stage control. And Booyah Bomb fits into that. You can do Booyah Bomb, Fizzy Bomb, and like you control, like it's gonna be very hard for the opponents to just avoid any damage. Booyah Bomb also gives you a lot of armor, which is really nice for survivability and is really appreciated. As a later weapon like Sloshing Machine really appreciates survivability. Bro, yeah, it was an incredible kit, probably one of the most synergistic kits ever in Splatoon history. And yeah, like at the very beginning of the game, like double machine or sometimes even triple machine was meta. Then that wasn't a thing anymore, like after a while when players realized how good Crab was. But still, even then, like you still wanted machine in every single team. Because for once it was still an incredible kit. It was still like one of the best weapons in the game. And number 2, Machine is really good at countering Crab. I mean, most Sloshes are, but especially Machine thanks to the big hit bots. Because of the Sloshes' ability to just hit behind covers and they have a very easy time hitting the player behind the Crab. So like, yeah, they can either just easily kill them or basically force them to just hide inside the Crab and not get any value from the special. Which was amazing in Crab meta. And it's still good now since Crab is not like the top dog anymore, but it's still great to this day. Like despite like they did nerf some parts of the kit of Sloshing Machine, they nerfed like Fizzy Bomb because Fizzy spam was too prevalent. They increased like the special points required for Booyah Bomb. Now it's a 220 point special, which is a lot. But it was still amazing. And then we got the final and big nerf. Now it has like a slower fire rate of 5 frames, like 5 more frames between shot, which is very big. It didn't kill the weapon, but it basically meant it was not top 5 weapons of the game anymore. Regular Slosher took its spot. However, despite this nerf, very significant nerf, it was still great. Like to this day, it's still a great weapon. It's still regularly played in competitive. It still like has a lot, like the kit is still amazing, obviously, and synergizes so well still. Like you regularly see Machine in top level tournaments. It does provide a different niche compared to regular Slosher. And then they added Neo Slosher, which was also very good. It's basically a throwback to Splatoon 1 Neo Slosher. It has point sensor, which is very good for the reasons I explained back in the Splatoon 1 page. But this time instead of Inkzuka, since we got the Inkzuka equivalent of Splatoon 3, Trizuka. And if you know anything about Splatoon 3, Trizuka is like kinda good. Okay, yeah, I mean Trizuka is OP. Like unless we nerf it, it's basically the best special in the game to get outside maybe Tacticooler. So like yeah, yeah, it's really nice. I really appreciate having the best special in the game. Plus as we said before multiple times, point sensor is really good with Sloshers. And I mean, Trizuka, compared to Vanilla Kit, Trizuka has the advantage of being 190 points special. A significantly cheaper special. Like, both kits are really good. You can handle a lot of success with them. I personally prefer Vanilla, but really, they're basically equal in how good they are. They're both meta relevant, and you can have a lot of success with both. It's mostly up to preference and to the team. And the gear guide for Splatoon 3 is for both machines is, first and foremost, you want a lot of mobility. Swim speed and run speed, they're both essential because, I mean, as a Slayer weapon that heavily relies on mobility, I mean, swim speed is great in general. And run speed, you want run speed because you have a slow fire rate, especially after nerf, so you want you're gonna spend a significant time in humanoid form, and you really want to, because of the usually slower kill times compared to most weapons, you want to have mobility to avoid enemy fire. So yeah, I mean, I say 3 to 4 subs of both abilities, maybe even a main and a sub. Like at the very least 3 of both should be really recommended. And since, as I said before, this weapon consumes a lot of ink, you want either Last Resort or Comeback. It's up to personal preference. I personally run Last Resort with Vanilla and Comeback with Neo, but again, they're both great. They depend on the place. It's personal preference, really. Then on top of that, you might consider one or two subs of ink saver main, because as we said before, it's a sinkhole of ink. If you run Last Resort, you want one sub of ink saver sub, because if you do, and Last Resort activates to its fullest potential, you gain the ability to throw two fizzy bombs back to back with a single full ink tank, which is really nice, which is really good for pressure and to control the scenario. And then one sub of his abilities. I say it's especially important special saver if you run Vanilla Slosher, because, you know, as I said before, it's a very expensive special. 220 points is a lot. You might even consider two sub of, say, special saver, but most of the times you're pretty content with one. And so yeah, that's it for today. Thanks a lot for watching all the video. Subscribe for more content, and I hope to see you again very soon.
Bye.